Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. Today we're talking to Josh Copeland, who's getting ready to fight Jan Jorgensen, coming up here on RFA 16. It's about 5 days out right now from the fight. He's a heavyweight, so we don't talk about weight class at all. It's 6'1", 245. Are you still about 245? You lost some weight? Have you gained some weight?
No, man, I'm bigger now. I gained about 15 since 15, probably 20 when my wife got pregnant. So I really have not worked it off yet. So I'm about 270 right now.
Oh, so you're a lot heavier than you used to be.
Right.
First of all, you're carrying around that sympathy pregnancy weight, but is it good? Is it good extra weight, or is it been fat? Like, have you put on some muscle during that time, or what's been going on with it?
Man, I might have a little extra muscle, but it's definitely not all good weight. That's for sure.
All right,
but no, it's definitely nothing that hasn't stopped me from training and being able to do what I need to do.
And how has training been going? Who are your main training partners right now over there?
Man, I've been doing a lot of, I guess, grappling over with 16's. Elliot Marshall, he teaches our grappling over there. So I do a lot of work with Cody Donovan and a lot of those team elevation guys, Nate Marquardt and Neil Magny, and not a lot of heavyweights there, but quite a few 205ers and stuff. So that helps me out. Sparring wise, I got Pat Barry and a few different heavyweights we got over at Grudge. So it allows me to get to see different looks and all that stuff too.
How pissed off right now is Pat Barry with Rose in the house? Obviously, Rose's girlfriend is in the Tough 20 house right now, so Pat is flying single and going a little nuts. But how is he in practice?
Man, Pat cracks me up. We were actually talking about that the other day. He was just saying how it's crazy how Rose basically keeps him on the straight and narrow, and helps him keeps his life straightened out, and he's having trouble even doing the dishes and blah blah blah. But no, Pat's pretty consistent when it comes to training. He's always there, but when he goes home, apparently he's been a mess.
It hasn't affected his training at all, as far as being a good training partner and being there to put the heat on you when you need to have it.
No, I wouldn't say with having Rose gone that doesn't affect it at all.
Okay, so let's talk about Jan Jorgensen, your opponent coming up here. You're 8-0, he's 7-0. Level of competition is pretty even through this mess.
Right.
Do you think that Jan is your toughest opponent to date? Or do you think that somebody else that you fought earlier was a little bit harder? Now, understand, too, that you've developed as a fighter over the last 8 fights. So someone like, Michael Moser, your second fight ever, or Robbie Bannon, your fourth professional fight, they could have been tougher at the time because you weren't as experienced or didn't have as much understanding of how the game is played. So with that being said, is Jan your toughest opponent to date?
Man, I mean, to me, that's tough to say just because I haven't got to face him. The toughest guy I've had to face would probably be Richard Foster. My sixth fight, he was undefeated coming out of Seattle, and he's like 6'6", 6'7", and that guy, he actually had good kicks, good stand up. He was submitting a lot of his guys, so he's got a good ground game, and man, I hit him with everything I had quite a few times and couldn't put him away. He could take a punch and come right back after me, So that's he earned a lot of respect from me from that fight, I would say. And that's, I don't know. I mean, we'll see with Jan. That's I know I am a completely different fighter than I was a year and a half ago, and just continuing to get all the private lessons, I would say, with my coaches, and continuing to learn secrets and tricks and a better understanding. I'm definitely a more or a better fighter than I was. So man, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Now, what do you do besides fight? Do you have another job you have to do to keep the bills, to make sure all the bills get paid?
Yeah, I actually just teach clients. Clients that want to learn striking, I'll teach them striking, or some of them want to lose weight. So I'll do some cardio kickboxing or cardio boxing classes, or some, I don't know. There's a couple of them that like doing jujitsu. So I mean, I don't know. It's I have enough clients to keep me afloat from job or from fight to fight. So that helps me out a lot.
Well, the reason why I was asking, because when I interviewed Jorgensen, he's a head football coach at a local high school, and starting next year, he's going to be a full-time teacher. So he's almost looking at fighting as a hobby, as a pastime, not as something that has a full-time career. And you're a personal trainer, training in the game, training in the aspects of the game that you have to use when you fight professionally. Do you think with Jan trying to do stuff outside the sport that is going to hurt him when it's actually time to come and try to compete against you? Come here in 5 days?
Man, we're all made different, so some of us can get into the preparation time, and be able to do whatever else we need to. There's I don't know. Rich Franklin was a teacher too, and he did pretty well for himself. And I mean, that's, some of us can run off a little sleep and be able to get everything done that we need to, and some of us need those naps throughout the day, So, I mean, for me, I probably wouldn't be able to put in the time that I need to be where I want to be, if I was working a full-time job and trying to train on the side. And that's, I'm blessed in that aspect that I can do that now.
Well, also too, let's not remember, you talk about Rich Franklin was a professional, or excuse me, a full-time teacher before, as he was fighting. The moment that he got in and was able to make enough money as a fighter, he stopped teaching and stopped teaching math and became a full-time professional fighter. The same is going to have to happen, for everybody, with you included. You have to stop training clients once you start making enough money as a fighter to dedicate yourself to being just a fighter. And it's interesting to me to see how many guys are still doing things outside of the sport. You're still training in the sport, whether it's Muay Thai or grappling or whatever. But some other guys are outside the sport entirely. We all know Demetrius Johnson's story, where he was a forklift operator before he became a title holder, and now he's obviously just doing that full time. So it's just it always interests me to see what the opponents think of a guy that's actually on the outside of the sport, making money, trying to stay inside the sport as well. Do you see Jan as being a worthy opponent? I know both of you are undefeated, but do you see him as being a guy that is a step up in competition for you and can kind of move you on to the next level?
Yeah, I think so. It's from watching a couple of his fights. He's I've trained with NFL guys before, and some of them it's just funny. They're freaks of nature in one aspect, but some of them are just scared to death of getting punched in the face. And just watch Jan. I mean, he looks like he puts his combinations together well. He's a decorated Division I football player, which I've been around Division I guys, and if you're starting on a legitimate D1 school, you're definitely an athlete, and that's, to me, it says a lot about him. There's no doubt in my mind the guy's probably got a crazy work ethic. He's going to be quick. He's going to be explosive. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be strong. Football players are all about, being strong and explosive. So, for me, that's, I'm excited, I definitely consider it a test, and he is a worthy opponent,
Where do you see yourself, because the RFA obviously is one of the leagues that the UFC takes a look at and goes ahead and tries to make things work very well within. So if the UFC decides to call and bring you up, the RFA is going to let you go. Do you see yourself being able to make that jump to the UFC in the next 3 or 4 fights?
I do. You know, that's I've been blessed to be able to train with quite a few guys from from that level, and you know, I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of aspects that I do well, you know, and especially as I continue to learn and be able to find out, and I don't know, how would I say it? Just continue to learn. I know I'm not the tallest, I'm not the longest, but I like to outsmart people. I like to use angles and be different than just a normal heavyweight that likes to stand in front of each other and just throw bombs. You know, I like to set myself up. I like to I don't know, just use footwork. So I mean, that's time will tell, and that's I believe that I can be.
What's the best part of MMA that you like, as far as your self-development and trying to learn about yourself as a man? Like, what part of it is the best? Is it the grappling? Is it the constant grind? Is it the striking aspect of it? Or what is it that you really gravitate towards every time the practice is ready to come on?
Man, I enjoy striking. I've done jiu-jitsu the longest. Grappling. I enjoy grappling. It's fun, but there's something about being able to use footwork, be able to use angles, you know, and to be a heavyweight, but you know, trying to move like a middleweight, you know, and that's fun for me.
All right, Josh, I appreciate you coming on here and spending some time with us here at MMA Oddsbreaker. I know you're out trying to deliver tickets for the fight coming up here in 5 days. Have fun. And of course, this is a main event fight that can be seen on Access TV at home on Friday night, July 25th. Thanks a lot, Josh. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Man, thanks for your time.